Alright, hey YouTube, Nate here, and welcome to MacintoshGeek Weekly on this September 9th, 9910. Last year that would have been a cool number. As I recall, some movies came out and stuff about it. Actually, just one. That's unrelated, so let's just get right into the goodness of Apple and all that good stuff. Not much to cover today, but we'll just get right into it. So the new iPods were released. We got reviews coming in. So far, the new iPod Touch is getting great reviews. iPod Nano is getting good reviews, and the iPod Shuffle is getting good reviews. But like I said, the iPod Touch is getting really good reviews. It's one of the best iPods ever, as a lot of people are saying. But some reports are saying that it's not as good as we thought it was. A lot of people were saying, oh, this iPod is exactly like the iPhone minus a contract, which in a lot of ways it still is. I did have one report last week about it having vibrate, and I thought that was one of the things that kind of pushed it over. Now that it has a speaker built in, now that it has a volume rocker, all of these things that kind of separated the original first generation iPod Touch from the iPhone, it's slowly getting. But as it turns out, it does not in fact have vibrate. That was a false report by one of the news articles that I read, and I know it was on Mac Rumors. And so, I mean, a lot of people did think that was what was going to happen. But it does turn out some other people did tear down the new iPod Touch, and it does not have vibrate. And obviously the people who just bought an iPod Touch also have found that out, that no, it does not have vibrate. But, whoops, sorry. Hopefully that didn't disturb the audio too much. Besides that, also another thing that is kind of separating it is the amount of RAM available. The iPhone 3GS has 512 megabytes of RAM, or in the iPhone 4, I don't know what I'm saying. Sorry, I meant the iPhone 3GS had 256 megabytes of RAM, which is how much the new iPod Touch has. So the fourth generation iPod Touch is equivalent to the previous generation iPhone, but it is not up to par with the new iPhone 4. So you are going to see slight performance differences. I'm sure it's nothing going to be huge. Obviously with the iPhone, there is some more intensive stuff going on, more applications running. I think for the most part, that one does need more RAM compared to the iPod, but yeah. So the iPod Touch, not exactly the iPhone yet, but it does seem like we're getting there, and it's kind of ridiculous because they're very similar products, but obviously one has a contract, one doesn't. At this point, it's kind of like if you want a 3G iPad or not. I think it's kind of coming down to like that. With one, you're going to be paying monthly. With one, you're not. Obviously, pros and cons to both. All right, so what else? New iPod Nano also got torn down. There's some hints that there might be video playback, but like I was saying before, the iPod Nano is tiny now. I personally don't even think I can touch that screen without messing stuff up. So I don't even know why I'd want to watch a video on it, but to each his own. With that, they also found out that this screen is not exactly the multi-touch screen that you're finding on all of the other iOS devices, because in fact it can only register 2 fingers, and the only thing that it needs that for is for the screen flip that they built in. That's the only thing that uses 2 fingers, and that's the max amount of contact points it can recognize. So it's kind of a letdown, but at the same time, it's still an iPod Nano. It's not supposed to be as nice as the iPod Touch or higher-end iPods, which I guess is really only the iPod Touch, since they didn't really make any updates to the Classic. Besides that, that's kind of it for the Apple news. As far as tech news goes, the big one this week was that Google Instant was released. For those of you who haven't checked it out, I would go check it out. You do need a Google domain, and that was something that I was kind of confused about, because my girlfriend Sammy was saying that she didn't notice a difference in Google, and I was like, how did you not notice that difference in Google? So it turns out you do need to have a Google username and be logged in to use Google Instant. They are going to eventually add more domains and etc., make it nicer, but it's the revelation in searches. It's going to make searches 2 to 5 seconds faster just by instantly showing you results. So, I mean, realistically, it makes sense, because as you're typing, you can change it to kind of get what you want without ever having to press enter. It seems like a silly concept, but that's unfortunately the world we're kind of coming into, is everything has to be that much faster, and 2 to 5 seconds means something now. Before, 2 to 5 seconds was like, okay, cool, that's nice, I guess. But now it seems like 2 to 5 seconds Google's making a big deal about, and that's just kind of the technology world we're entering. And as much as a lot of people probably don't want to see that happening, kind of, yeah, it's happening. Technology is constantly being updated, so yeah, and obviously Google is kind of at the forefront of everything. Google OS, I'm sure, is on its way soon. So yeah, besides that, got a question here from X Radical Aura X. Are you majoring in computer science? Yes. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Macintosh Geek Weekly. Make sure to submit your questions, video or audio questions, to inateclay@gmail.com. Hopefully this time, guys, I can get a question in that has more than just yes as an answer. So yeah, stay tuned, because I got the case giveaway coming up here. I'm actually just going to film that next. So thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned next week. Yeah.